Hey folks, old Bart Wilson and Sweetie Pie here today. It's Sunday, July the 17th.
Of
And
2022.
yeah, 2022, that's correct. I think we all know that we in the 2022 year. But anyway, we're going to continue with our Sunday Funday today. We're going to work on our little project we got going on here. Those of you that are kind of new. And today what we're going to do is we're going to do both the hands. That's what we're going to do today. And then next week we're going to finish up the clothes. But we're going to go ahead and do the hands today, and let me show you these hands. So the way I do them. Now again, you know, just because I'm showing it to you don't mean it's the right way or the only way to do it. It's my way to do it. So, and that's what I'm doing. I'm showing you my way. So we're gonna get started here. I'll hold that up there and let you look at it really good one time. So there you go, right there. All right, let me get my safety stuff on and we'll get started. Put my glasses on first. So we hope all y'all had a good week and a good weekend. We have. We was off Friday together. We had some stuff to take care of Friday, so we took the day off, and we've had a good weekend. Lord, I've been cooking up a storm this weekend. I've cooked chicken, I've cooked flank steak on the grills, I've cooked beef jerky, and then last night, some of you may have done seen where I cooked them Big Mac dogs, and I'll tell you about them in a little bit. So, but we're gonna get started carving here in a little bit. So, the knife I'm using today is the same one I used last week. It's my Series 4, my short blade, my short handle, and that's what I'm gonna use. So, let me kind of I got to clean this up right here a little bit. So, yeah, we've had a good weekend this weekend. We been around the house, got some stuff done around the house, and went this morning. I got to give Flossie accolades this morning. I'm just kind of flattening that chest out a little bit right there. I got to give Flossie accolades this morning. We went and got us a load of firewood this morning. Buddy of mine called yesterday, and I got me a lead on some firewood yesterday, so we went and I was able to fire up the old steel, my new toy. All right, so let me get this off of here. Let's see. All right, so we're gonna work on we're gonna do his left hand first, and I'm gonna draw his thumb in here like that right there. All right, so the way I start these is you got to bring the thumb out first. So I take a 3mm number 11 Swiss, and all I'm gonna do is run right upside that thumb mark I put a couple of times like that right there. And then I'm gonna come right here in front of it, and I'm gonna run over to his belly like that a couple, 3 times. Then I'm gonna take my knife and get those chips out right there. And then it leaves a little ridge right here, and we got to get that down. So I'm gonna take that back down flush like that right there, and then we're gonna get this little piece right here, and then it's gonna look like that. Can you see that pretty good right there, Floss?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so right here at the back of the thumb, right there where that webbing is, what I do is take my knife and just kind of do a little roll cut right in there like that. All right, so we got to bring that thumb out a little more. I'm gonna try to hold it like this and do it so you can see it. But what I do is take my knife and go right down inside that thumb like that right there. Then I just come back and take a little wedge sliver out of there. And then we need to do the same in the front. And just pop that wedge out. Now, my hands, I don't get too detailed with my hands. And my phone's ringing. That's probably my daddy.
It's not.
It's not? Okay. So,
Let's let Boy Smoke it up.
yeah, we'll get to it in a minute. So, I'm just kind of knocking these sharp edges. By that right there. Can you see that all right?
I think so. The lighting is a little, it's glaring a lot, so.
Why is it glaring?
I don't know, but let's.
But anyway. All right, so now.
I think the more you carve, the shinier the wood.
Well, that's a good thing.
It is
good. That means your
it's
tools are sharp.
just kind of hard
You
to
want
see those
shiny
details.
cuts when you
Or it's
when you
hard for
do
me
this.
to.
Yeah. So now we're gonna draw the fingers in here. All right. So let me draw them and then I'll show them to you. All right. So what I do is take what's left of that hand and I split it in half. And I go all the way down. And then when I split that, I split it again. Then it gives me 5 fingers. Can you see that all right?
Sure can.
All right, so now, so if you look at your hand, right here, I'll use my pencil. Right here is kind of like a little V cut right here, where your fingers meet up with your hand right here. So the way I get that cut is I take a 3/16, 1/8 V tool. This is a Drake. Now you got to be careful doing this. This takes a gentle touch. So I put that V tool on that line right there, and I just kind of push it in a little bit, just kind of lightly. You don't want to go too much because it'll bust out on you. All right. So I just do it like that right there. And then I take my knife and I go right across there. Uh-oh, that one didn't pop out. There we go. And pop that out right there. Can you see them?
Mm-hmm, sure can.
All right, so then what I do, I take that same V tool and I cut my separation from my fingers. And I don't go, you don't have to go real deep. Something like that right there. Now, I started to say a while ago, I don't know if I got it out, I don't put a whole lot in my hands, just something that makes it look like a hand. So now, about the only other thing I do to my hands is I come back in between and I want to put a little bit of shadow in there. So I do me a little light V cut following that finger line and take that little sliver out. See that little sliver coming out of there? And I do that. So, like that.
Yep.
But anyway, we went and got a load of firewood this morning, and I got to give accolades to Flossie this morning. She was a trooper. I could tell she really didn't want to go get firewood. But we needed firewood. We got to start gathering firewood for the year. So we went. We wasn't going that long. I did buy her a bacon, egg, and cheese burrito at Fuzzy's Tacos this morning. It was mighty good too.
No, it's just Sunday and you kind of want
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't
around.
really up for it either, but
Yeah,
the boy that had the wood, he's one of my buddies from work,
and we appreciate it.
and he worked shift work, and by next weekend he'd be on night shift again, and I didn't want to go out there with the chainsaw. And he's actually one of my old shift partners I had out there at the mill, and so he and I worked shift work together. We were partners on shift, and I didn't really want to bother him
That hand's coming along really well.
when he was trying to sleep off the night shift, you know. All right, so I don't do a whole lot with the fingernails on the 4 fingers, but I do put one on the thumb most of the time, and it depends. And I usually only do 2 cuts anymore. I don't do 3 where, you know, the first cut we gonna do is this line right here, the cuticle line, and then you'll cut it on each side to make it look like the nail. But I got any more where this cut, if it's laying up against the stomach or whatever, I don't cut this one. I just cut this one out here. So I'll show you that real quick. And it's just 2 little simple cuts, just 2 little wedge cuts. And I just figure out how far I want it. I don't mark it or nothing. I just go in there and make me a little light cut, a little light stop cut. And then I go back to it. Hopefully it falls out like that right there. And then I come out here on the side and go in like that. Now I got a little sharp edge right here I got to get rid of. Like I said, I don't do a whole lot. There we go. There we go. Can you see that? Can you see that fingernail?
Not really.
How about if we back it up or get closer? Does that help?
No.
Don't help. Well, there's a little fingernail in there. All right, so this hand.
Just imagine a little finger.
Yeah. This hand.
Sorry, guys.
All right, so this hand, in my opinion, is about done, except for about 3 more cuts. So now I want to come in here and I want to split these knuckles right here. It's 3 cuts. And what I do is I come in here with my 3mm number 11, and it's a light cut. And I just take and run this one, and I run it kind of real light, and just kind of let it feather out up the back of the hand. This one I just kind of do the same, and this one I just kind of do the same, where it looks like they kind of running. So what I generally do is get on the first finger, the index finger, and I just go in there lightly, and then just kind of let it feather back like that. Then that middle one I just kind of hit, and then this one over here I just kind of do like that. Can you see that?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now you can get as detailed as you want to with these hands, but in my opinion that hand's done. All right, so we're gonna move over here to this hand. Now this hand's a little bit trickier. Not really trickier, it's just a little different, because it's gonna be holding something like this. All right.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might put a little American flag or something in this
That'll work.
hand. So, all right, so same thing. Now this one, if you notice, I kind of got that thumb kind of turned, going down a little bit. All right. So, but I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna come upside that thumb with that 3mm number 11 about 2-3 times. Then I'm gonna go right back in the front of it like that, about 2-3 times. Then I'm gonna come in there, clean that up right there a little bit, right in there. Here we go. Then we want to take, now, I'm going to explain to you here in a minute when I get through carving this one. I'm going to go over the anatomy of your hand. A lot of people have trouble carving hands, but you've got two good models for hands right on the end of your arm. And it took me a long time to get to doing that. So I'm going to scoop that right there a little bit. And I'm going to flatten this right here just a little bit. And then we got to make this little webbing cut right here, like that right there. All right, now, so with this hand, let me draw it and I'll show it. Oh, here comes the rainfall.
Started thunder.
We've been getting rain about every day down here. All right, so on this one, with his hand bent like that, we're gonna take like a little L. See the little L in there? We're gonna take that little L chip cut out. And then down in there, we're gonna make it a little deeper. Cause that's gonna, see, this is his hand. You got to follow the contour of the hand to get that little hole out of there, to make it look like it's laying right. So, I'm just gonna take a chip cut out. And you don't have to go, because we'll take, maybe next week, I'll take a drill bit and show you my little hand drill I got. Because I've tried to drill these with like a cordless drill, and it usually don't work out too well. But I don't need much of a hole down in there to get, because I'm just going to stick a little stick or something down in there with a flag on it probably. Alright, so let me flatten that, back of that hand out a little bit more like that. Take that out. Alright, so now, let me draw him on here. I'm going to draw his fingers on here. And on this one, there's 3 planes to the hand, and I'll explain that again, and I'll explain that more here in a minute. So, that right there. See that? All right. So now one thing I do need to do. This right here's got a sharp point on it right here. I need to take that and make that finger look a little rounded on top, just like that. All right, so same thing. And I see one more I need to take this, needs to angle down like that a little bit more. All right, so same thing. We're gonna take that V tool and just kind of push it in there a little bit. Go real gentle with that, folks, because you can bust right out the back of that hand. And then I'm going to take my knife. Come on, get out of there. There you go. Just like that. And don't worry about the shirt cuffs and all about right now, because we'll probably straighten that up next week. This week I just want to concentrate on the hands, because the hands is a lot. So same thing, I just take that V tool, run them lines, just go easy. You don't want to go real deep with them. You don't have to go real deep with them. You just want to scratch your little trough across there, because if you ain't careful, you'll push it in there too much. I see one thing's wrong here. This thumb, this needs to go like that. There we go. I need that thing. It was looking a little blocky. I just couldn't. So I took my V tool line out. I got to go back and put it back like that. So then I just like on the other side. I just come in here and like I said, just go real easy. And just take that little sliver out, give you a little shadow down in there. Alright, now I see one more thing I need to do. Where's my little number 7? I'm gonna take my little number 7 because I got to reestablish a plane here on this hand right here. And I'm gonna explain it in a minute to y'all and you'll understand. One of those I wiped out the finger line again. There we go. Alright, so let's see, where was I at? Right here. Alright. And then I got to get a little shadow line out right here. And then a little bit right here. I didn't get enough right here. There we go. Alright. So, let me clean that up. Right there, that little cut. Alright, it's the same thing over here. Take our 3mm number 11. And kind of do us a little, you don't have to go real deep. Just kind of go easy and just kind of let it feather back into that hand. And then oh, come on out of there now. There we go. Alright, so I need to angle that thumb. There we go. Flatten that out right a little bit. And then we're going to do the same thing on his thumbnail. Just do a little cut. Let it come out. Lord mercy, I lost it. I'm like Flossie. Sometimes you can't see these things when you cut them.
Yeah, it's tough sometimes to see that detail.
Yeah. There we go. Alright. So, there's your two hands right there. Now, I'm going to show you this real quick, then I'm going to explain to you the hands.
Show the other hand now, please.
See, they're not that difficult. Hands don't have to be that difficult, and you don't have to put a whole lot of detail in them. You just, want something. Alright, so, when you lay your hands out, when you start carving your hands, you have, alright, so a lot of times when you have a hand like this, like we did on his right hand, you have 1, 2, 3 planes. You don't really see the fourth one because the fingernails ain't out there, alright? So you have 1 plane, 2 planes, 3 planes. 3 flat surfaces to work with. And the second plane, this one, is where you start your fingers. This is the back of the wrist and all right here. Alright, so on his left hand, like this one, that's kind of laid out like this, I kind of fudge a little bit. Let me see. Yeah, I only cut 3 planes instead of 4. Alright, so you still got 1, 2, and then I just take and make this one 3. I don't really mess with this 4th plane from the first knuckle to the fingernails. because it gets in these little carvings like this. If it was a bigger carving, you could do it where you have plenty of wood, but with these little carvings like this, it's hard to get it because it gets real thin down in there. Okay, so I just fudge it and just do 3. So like I said, you have 1, 2, and then 3, and then in the second plane is where you start your fingers. And then what I do when I get ready to cut them fingers in, I start with this middle cut right here, and I divide this in half. Then I come back and divide from here to here in half, and then from here to here in half, and that gives me 4 evenly spaced fingers. Somewhat, they can be a little bit. One can be a little bigger, a little smaller. No, it ain't that big a deal. It don't have to be exactly precise unless you're carving a realistic carving. We're carving caricature, and then you can fudge a little bit here and there. So, you know, we're gonna leave you right there. I wanted to do these hands in one session, so you don't get confused and get messed up, you know, trying to follow other instructions. So we're gonna leave it there. Next week, we're gonna put some clothes on this old boy and get him dressed up. And then probably the week after that, we're gonna come back and finish this head and do-rag, and we'll probably be finished. Probably 2 more videos, and we'll be done with him, and y'all can go do your own then, if you hadn't already been doing your own. So, but anyway, I don't have any really stories to tell from the Brotherhood this week. Them boys have been kind of, excuse me, I think the heat's got them down, and they've been kind of quiet this week. All of them, every one of them been kind of quiet this week, and so I don't know what's really been going on with them. So I really don't have no stories. I think, well, even Wahoo ain't heard a whole lot from me. He don't like heat. Wahoo don't operate too well in the heat, and it's been hot over here and up there in North Carolina and all that where he's been at. But let me tell y'all real quick. Let me tell you. All right, so y'all know me and Flossie's got into this outdoor cooking thing, not outdoor, over the fire cooking thing. You know, flame and all that. Well, we found this fellow on YouTube, not YouTube, well, he's on YouTube and Instagram. It's over the fire cooking, and the fellow's named Derek Wolf. And Lord, have mercy, has that boy got some good recipes.
Like every recipe you
Oh.
want to make.
You look at his videos and your tongue, your whole mouth just goes to water like old bulldog after a pork chop bone.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my goodness, it's something fierce. But anyway, so the Big Mac dogs that y'all probably saw on Instagram and YouTube, Facebook, this is where I got that recipe from. Well, we cooked them things up last night, and our neighbors across the street, our buddies across the street, they come and eat one with us. And we had a good spread. We had some onion rings and steak fries, some coleslaw, and then Big Mac dogs, and then for dessert, Ma, that's what I call the lady across the street. Ma come up in here with 2 homemade pies, apple and pecan. Oh my goodness. We was hurting last night when we went to bed. But anyway, it was good.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, them Big Mac dogs, look them up. He got them on YouTube too. He's got a web page, you know, over the fire cooking. Look them up. They easy to make. They not real hard to prep for and all that. It's fairly easy, but they are some kind of good. But anyway, with that being said, me and Sweetie Pie is gonna go because we got 2 more of them Big Mac dogs in the refrigerator in there from last night, and I'm probably gonna heat me up one here in a little while and eat it for supper again. So, but anyway, y'all have a good week. We'll be back with you next week. Y'all take care. Y'all stay cool, stay hydrated, be good to your neighbors, and we'll see you later. Bye bye now.
Bye, guys.